Namaste and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about Shasha Yoga. In astrology, there are so many yogas. Shasha Yoga is one among them, and it is in the group of Panch Mahapurusha Yoga. Panch Mahapurusha Yoga means there are 5 yogas formed by 5 planets. They are Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Saturn. The Mahapurusha Yoga formed by Mars is Ruchaka Yoga, by Mercury is Bhadra Yoga, by Jupiter is Hansa Yoga, by Venus is Malavya Yoga, then Saturn is Shasha Yoga. The condition for this yoga is all the same for all the planets. These planets should be in their own house, or they should be in their exalted sign, and they should be in Kendra from Lagna. Many people ask whether this yoga can be seen through moon. Yes, you can see this yoga through the moon, but the first priority should be given to the Lagna. If you are checking by a moon, moon should not be afflicted, moon should not be weak. That means moon should not be in Kemadruma Yoga, or moon should not be with malefics like Rahu, Ketu and all. So let's talk about Shasha Yoga forming by Lagna, forming in the Lagna horoscope. The condition is very simple. Saturn should be in its own sign or in exaltation sign, and it should be in Kendra from the Lagna. We know Saturn rules 2 houses. They are Capricorn and Aquarius. And Saturn's exaltation sign is Libra. So Saturn should be in either of this sign, like either in Capricorn or in Aquarius or in Libra, and it should be in one of the Kendra. Which are the Kendra houses? 1st house, 4th house, 7th house and 10th house. In that condition, if that condition is present in your horoscope, yes, you have Shasha Yoga. But is your Saturn in retrogression? Is your Saturn combust? If that can, or is your Saturn afflicted with other natural malefics, then this Shasha Yoga may not perform as you desire. It may rather create difficulties in your life. And if the Shasha Yoga is forming in the Lagna and it is aspecting the 7th house and 10th house, that Shasha Yoga also cannot be working in a way to give you a lot of progress. So let's see more about Saturn. We all know like Saturn is the planet for delays. When we talk about Saturn, when we think about Saturn, first thing comes into your mind is that it is the planet for delays and obstacles. But remember, it rules 2 most auspicious houses in the horoscope. They are 10th and 11th. There are so many other houses, but 10th and 11th house, it is the most important house because 10th house indicates career, 11th house indicates profits. So Capricorn and Aquarius, technically they both indicate the same thing. And Libra indicates business deals, interpersonal relationships and all that. Saturn is a planet which gives us a lot of realistic thinking. We will be very realistic if we have a very good Saturn. We will not be carried away by emotions. In the Vedas we can see Saturn is a very cold planet. It doesn't have a good relationship with its wife, with mother it doesn't have a good relationship, with father also it doesn't have good relationship. The total family atmosphere of Saturn itself is very pessimistic. That's why when Saturn is in our 4th house or 2nd house, we become very much realistic about the love and emotion and all that. Moreover, Saturn is a very distant planet in the sky. Saturn is in the last part of the orbit. That means when Saturn is alone in Shasha Yoga, it can perform very well. In the Vedas, we can see Saturn tried to kick his mother, Chaya. She cursed him to be lame. So Saturn is a kind of handicap planet. It cannot walk fast. It is a slow planet because he has that limping issue. So Saturn will take time to give results. Anyone's horoscope, Saturn will take time to give the results. Since Saturn is a distant planet and it has a slow nature, when Saturn is alone, it is happy. But if it is conjunct with any planet or if it is aspected with any planet, in connection with Shasha Yoga, it will take time to give results because Saturn doesn't want to carry that burden. Already it is limping. On top of that, if some planet is conjuncting Saturn or aspecting Saturn, Saturn has to carry the qualities of that planet also. It doesn't like that condition in Shasha Yoga. But in the other areas, okay, Saturn likes to be with somebody. Saturn likes to be with its friend Venus. Especially if Saturn is aspected by Moon or conjunct with Moon, this Saturn will become very helpless because Moon is a very emotional planet. It wants to be dependent upon somebody. In Shasha Yoga, if it is aspecting the Saturn, Moon is aspecting Saturn, Saturn's productivity will be very less. So, one of the prominent conditions of this Shasha Yoga is that Saturn should be free from aspect or conjunction. Suppose your Saturn, you have a Shasha Yoga, you checked your horoscope, you have a Shasha Yoga. Give it 10 points. But Moon is aspecting, you have to minus at least 2 points. If Sun is combust, then you have to again minus 3 points. If it is conjunct with Rahu or Ketu, then also you have to reduce some points. So finally, after all the deductions, how much point you are getting, your Shasha Yoga is getting? That is a very big question. Okay, you are getting a purified Shasha Yoga, your Shasha Yoga is very pure. Then the results will go like this. You will have a lot of principles. You will be a respected person in the society because Saturn indicates the 10th house of reputation. When a well-placed Shasha Yoga you have, then your reputation will naturally grow. We can see a lot of great people like rulers because the 10th house indicates, 10th house in the natural horoscope indicates rulers, government and all that. A well-placed horoscope with a well-placed Shasha Yoga will surely make the person into government or he will have good relationship with the ruling class. Even there are so many people, so many presidents and prime ministers we can see with this Shasha Yoga. If you are not in a government sector, you can be a big corporate guy. You can be a CEO, CFO, a big role in the corporate company, and you can also be an industrialist, especially if Saturn is exalted. In Shasha Yoga, if your Saturn is exalted, you can be a very big industrialist. Why? Because Libra, in the natural zodiac wheel, Libra indicates what? Business, masses. So, you will have that very good techniques to establish a business, to be on the top of that corporate empire. But the thing is that the plight towards that popularity may not be easy. First, you have to start in a very small way. Saturn is not a planet which gives everything overnight. It gives you everything after a lot of hard work, a long wait. If you have a Shasha Yoga, you will be ready to work hard. You will be ready to work overnight. You will be ready to rework. Keep on working on the same thing so that you can achieve the best product out of it. So that is the quality of person with Shasha Yoga. You will be punctual. Suppose you are a normal employee in your company, but you are very punctual. Looking at your punctuality, you are getting a leadership role. So punctuality, attachment to the principles, not addiction, attachment to the principles, values. And these people will be always having great dreams. If you have a Shasha Yoga, then you should, it is a positive punch to your dreams to get into the government service. There are so many people who mails whether I will get into government service, will I get a government job, will I get through UPSC, then PSC. If you have a Shasha Yoga, that is an indication, but we need to check the full horoscope for that. Then Shasha Yoga will make you finish the work. For example, there are people who start something, for example, Aries Lagnas, they will start something but they cannot complete something, they cannot finish that work. But this Saturn will make you sit, even if it is, it will make you sleep deprived. You will be ready to work hard and you will finish it. But the negativity attached to this habit is that because of continuous hard work, you may get physical issues connected with Vata, because Saturn indicates Vata in astrology, medical astrology. That is the one thing, so you have to be very careful with that. If you have too much of Vata, you will have bone pains, because if someone have a bad Saturn, they will have joint pains, and the Vata issues can also connected to the joint pains. Then Saturn indicates land, because Saturn in astrology, Saturn is the karaka of barren land. If someone with Shasha Yoga wants to be a builder or a real estate agent, this is a very good combination, especially if it is in the 4th house. If it is in the 10th house, the people will earn from that through real estate deals. And Saturn also indicates mines, things which are underneath the earth, like diamonds, oils, mines. So we can see so many people in the corporate connected to this chemical, this petrol, diesel companies or diamond companies. For example, what do you say? Tanishq diamonds, I think they have diamonds also. If there will be somebody whose Saturn is in Shasha Yoga in the leadership role. So that is the one, that is a great thing about Shasha Yoga, that you can become an industrialist, you can become a head of a company. This Saturn, the specialty of Saturn exaltation is that Saturn gets exalted in 20 degrees of Libra. But if Saturn is in 18 degree onwards, the Saturn is moving towards exaltation. That Shasha Yoga is very good. But if Saturn has crossed 21st degrees of that exaltation, this Shasha Yoga may not be as effective as Shasha Yoga formed by exaltation from 18 points onwards. That you should be thoughtful of this, because there are so many points which can make a yoga very strong. For example, if Saturn is conjunct with a malefic, Saturn is combust, then the Shasha Yoga can give you struggles, because when Saturn is getting combust, when Saturn is with Sun, when it is closer with Sun, even if Saturn is in the same house, not very closely combust, still it can give you issues, because in the Vedas, Saturn and Sun are enemies. They are father and son. As I told you earlier, Saturn do not have a good family life. Saturn always had that inferiority complex that, Surya or Sun, his father, hated him because of his complexion or his appearance. So Saturn has that grudge towards the Sun, and Sun also doesn't like Saturn despite being his own son, because in the family Saturn was inimical towards everybody. He tried to hit his own mother. So Sun do not have a good impression for Saturn. So this kind of nature, when they are together in Shasha Yoga, you have a Shasha Yoga but Saturn is combust, then you can have a lot of issues, blocks or hurdles which can block your path towards progress. And such people will have a lot of arguments and power struggles, because Sun indicates people with authority, especially if Saturn is also aspected by other malefics. These people will create problem, and they may go through legal issues also, that you should be very careful. Even if it is Shasha Yoga or other Panchamahavrisha Yoga and all that, every yoga has a lot of good things, but if they are not placed well, the negativity also will crawl inside. So the PAC is very important. Degree is also very important. And if Saturn is aspecting the 10th house in Shasha Yoga, the career can also suffer, because 10th house, the Karaka of 10th house is actually the Sun. There are many Karakas for the 10th house, but the primary Karaka for the 10th house is Sun. When Saturn is aspecting or placed there, there will be power struggles. And if Saturn is in the exaltation sign for Aries Lagna, Saturn is in the Lagna and aspecting the 7th house in Shasha, not in Shasha Yoga. For example, Saturn is aspecting the 7th house, then the person will have marital issues, because in the Vedas we know Saturn do not have a good marital life also. I'll tell you that story. Saturn's wife is Neela Devi. Neela Devi is a very romantic person, but Saturn is a devotee of Lord Shiva, and Saturn is always praying. Even after marriage, he is into prayer, meditation and pleasing Lord Shiva. And this Neela Devi came to him one day to spend some quality time with Saturn, and Saturn didn't like this. Saturn didn't notice that. So Neela Devi got angry. Any wife would get angry. So Neela Devi cursed Saturn. Wherever you aspect, let that place be cursed. So the aspect of this, more than the placement, let me tell you, the aspect can damage the 7th house. Either you can get married not bit late, but truly late, or the chances of marriage also will go very weak. Yes, there are horoscope without the promise for marriage. And you will ask when this yoga will get activated. See, all the yogas are always active, but once the Mahadasha and the Antardasha comes, it will start producing more results. It is like a garden. The trees are there, the plants are there, the plants are producing 1 or 2 flowers, but when the season comes, the tree will start producing a lot of fruits, flowers will be budding up, there will be a sudden change in the environment, there will be a lot of beauty coming into that environment. So that kind of scenario will come up when this Shasha Yoga will get activated. Then let me tell you, Saturn, 1 minute. Okay, Saturn is a planet of delay. Despite Shasha Yoga, Saturn will give you delay. See, whatever it is, even if it is Shasha Yoga or exaltation or whatever it is, Saturn will not forget his original behavior. It is born to test the patience of the people. So, the assurance from the universe is that if you have a good Shasha Yoga, maybe it is late, you will truly get the results. And when you have this Shasha Yoga, you should always remember that you should follow the rules and regulations, give respect towards your parents. That is one remedy also. Saturn indicates older people. When you have Shasha Yoga, the best remedy is to donate to older people, for example, old age home. And there are people who ask me, Madam, should I donate once? Not once. Saturn is the planet for long-term process. So you should donate long-term, in a long-term manner. For example, you donating to an old age home. Then proper behavior to parents is very important, because why Saturn is suffering a lot? Because he had a lot of inferiority complex, and that inferiority complex reflected as rebelliousness towards mother and father. So naturally, when Saturn is strong, you should always be submissive to your parents. You should always help them, support them, make them happy. That is the greatest remedy. You may be wearing some gemstones, or you may be wearing some talisman, and you may be doing some pujas. But in case of Saturn, the best remedy is to serve older people. That is the best remedy with free will. Okay, not because some astrologer told you like you should donate to old age home. Okay, I want to strengthen my Saturn, so I'll be going to do that so that I can strengthen my Saturn. That should not be the perspective. You should donate because you should feel the need, you should feel the pain of others. That kind of remedies will work. Otherwise, if you are going to do some remedy with the selfish interest, vested interest with, this remedy can improve my Saturn, it will not work. In fact, it will work against you, because service indicates selflessness. Saturn tells you that, it didn't have an opportunity to become selfless. It worked a lot. That's why it got the status of graha. So repentance and submission and hard work, everything is needed. Then the Shasha Mahayoga will be working better than your expectation. I hope you understood. I'll be coming up with another video. I wish you all the best.